wax in my mouth. Yeah.
On Wednesdays, we do crafts.
Hi there, it's Barbara Anna, and happy 2015! Happy New Year! I am so excited for the new year. I love New Year's. I love New Year's Eve. I like the idea that we get to start over and make resolutions, even though personally I don't keep any of them anyway, but it is still fun. Moving on, what I shall be attempting to make today is candles out of crayons. Woo! So, what you will need for this craft is your cell phone, where I conveniently have the instructions, crayons, I'm the cool kid with the 64-pack of crayons, little glass containers for your candles, wicks, which I of course got entirely too long, Dixie cups, wax. I actually made this wax from grating a old candle, so hopefully this will be enough. If not, I will have to scrounge for more candles to grate in the cheese grater. Sorry, Mom. Things to stir the wax with. Don't worry, these are not real knives. They are plastic knives that look real. How fancy to stir the wax. Or toothpicks to stir the wax, because, of course, I did not read the entire ingredient list before starting. And it says that popsicle sticks are best to stir the wax, but I don't have any. So these will have to do. Let's consult the instructions. Step 1. Pour a small amount of wax into a Dixie cup and microwave for 1 minute. These are also really great for making Jell-O shots. So I'm going to put a small amount of wax into my Dixie cup. I would say that small pinch of wax, and I'm going to go microwave for 1 minute. I will be back. So my small pinch of wax is still microwaving. Put it in for a minute, nothing happened. Then I put it in for 2 minutes, and it was slightly warm wax, but certainly not melted wax. So now I'm putting it in for 3 minutes straight, and hopefully it will melt. I'm a very impatient person. I don't like to wait. This wax that we are currently melting is to stick the wick to the bottom of the glass. Waiting on the wax. Maybe it's because I didn't buy wax. I took wax from a real life candle, which I wouldn't think that would matter. Apparently it does. Oh, this is not off to a great start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it should be melted. I literally see no change. It's not melted at all. Not even a little. Not melted. This is frustrating. I'm quite annoyed that this is not going as well as planned. I mean, I also have beeswax, but it's not white. It's yellow, and it's gonna mix with the colors all wrong. Unless I just make yellow candles, but that's no fun. Okay, so microwaving it. It's not working. However, I had a thought. What I'm going to do is light this candle and drip some wax into here, and then stick the wick into the wax and let it harden. Although, if the wax isn't melting in the microwave now, and that's how we're supposed to melt it later, I don't know if this is gonna work. So I'm going to light the candle. Only use fire with adult supervision, kids. So now I'm going to leave that over there to harden. Now that we have that done, even though it's not how it told us to do it, whatever, the next step is to prep the candles. You can use an X-Acto knife to peel off the paper. Oh, we don't need that. We can just peel it with our fingers. Now, what colors to use? I have so many to choose from. Yeah, I think that's nice. So I'm going to use these colors, and I'm going to peel the paper off my crayons. I have my peeled crayons. Whoop. So now we are ready for the first real step. Use 1 crayon per color. This is my first crayon. Fill the Dixie cup with wax and then top it off with a broken crayon. I'm filling the Dixie cup with wax. Like fill, like to the top. I don't think I'm gonna have enough. I'm filling it up to this line. I'm going to break my crayon and put it in the Dixie cup. It looks like this. Now I'm going to go microwave for 1 minute, stir, and then microwave for another minute. So I microwaved this for 5 minutes and was stirring, and there is no change whatsoever. It is still the little pieces of wax that are now slightly warm, but nowhere near melted, and bits of crayon which are not melted at all. I feel like it could melt faster in my hand. So I have decided that I'm going to try something else. I'm going to try to put boiling hot water into this pan and then stick the Dixie cup in the pan and hope that the wax melts enough that I can stir it and then pour it in to my candle. I have the kettle on the stove, so then I'm going to pour the water into here and then stick my little Dixie cup in, and hopefully the cup won't melt. So I have my water, which is steaming. I don't know if you can see. And now I'm just going to put my Dixie cup in it. Nothing is happening. Nothing other than my fingers getting very warm is happening. It's not nearly as much fun as I had anticipated. Oh, I see a bit of progress. Oh, I think there is some melting. There is definitely some melting going on. Woohoo! Happy days! I have excellent news. So I guess it just needed to start melting and then it would melt, because right now, as we speak, I am microwaving the cup with the crayons and the wax for another minute. I put it in the microwave for 1 minute, and it was all the wax parts were liquefied, but the candle was still solid. So I'm hoping after another minute it will completely be liquefied. I can stir it up and finally pour in to my candle, and then we can start on to the next color, because it says to let solid wax that goes in harden for 20 to 30 minutes, and you are supposed to have a stand to hold it up on, but I'm just gonna lean it like so, and alas, it is liquefied. I'm going to pour it into my candle holder. Maybe I should have filled the Dixie cup all the way, because that is not very much wax. What if I pour more wax in with the crayon and melt that? I did get the wax to melt some more after dumping my entire bag of shavings into here, so I'm just going to dump it into here. Now I'm just going to leave it like that, dry. So what I did is melt the wax and crayon for 10 minutes, the extra that was left over from the first time that I tried to do it. And now I'm going to let this sit for 20 to 30 minutes until it's completely hardened while I make the other colors of wax. So I have let this sit for way over 20 or 30 minutes to harden up. So now this one is all hard. So it is time to go on to the next color. So I've decided to try doing the wax this way instead, just melting it from a candle and then trying to heat it up and see how that goes. Because obviously the shredding and the heating method takes kind of a long time until it is all melted, and then I will once again break the candle on top and stick it in the microwave and hope that it melts. Okay, so I am almost done with this candle. It was getting a bit too close to my finger, so I have gone for these tongs to hold. So it is almost, I think, to the point that it is no longer going to drip good wax in, and then I'm going to break the crayon and put it in the microwave, and hopefully it will melt. Now I'm just going to break up crayon, and the wax is filled to about here, so hopefully it'll be enough. I know it wasn't enough for this one, but it was shredded and less dense, so I'm hoping this time, since it's more dense and just solid wax at the bottom, that hopefully it will melt better. So I'm going to go put this in the microwave, and hopefully it will melt. So once again, it is proving very, very difficult to melt the wax. I mean, it is a little more squishy, but it's been in the microwave in total probably about 15-20 minutes, and it's just not melting. I mean, it wasn't straight. I do it for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, and 5 minutes, but it's just not melting. So once again, I have the kettle on the stove, and once that goes off, I will put the water back in my little pot, and then I will try and melt it that way, because once it starts melting, it kind of just continues to melt. It's just getting it to actually melt the first time is so frustrating. Okay, so it is definitely melting. It's not there yet. This is kind of the consistency. It's kind of like, I don't know, I'd say cream cheese maybe, or like hummus. That's the consistency of it now, but we do want it to be completely liquefied. So I'm going to put it back in the microwave, hopefully for the last time, and then I will be able to continue on with my candle. Okay, so I think this is as liquidy as it's going to get. So while it's still somewhat liquid, I am going to just dump it right in to the candle, already there. And I am going to have it dry at the tilt because some of it is still liquidy and wet. And while that is hardening, I do have a tea candle lit, melting the wax in here. So it is one of those little tiny tea candles, and I'm hoping that maybe if all that melts, and while it's still melting and burning, I can kind of melt my last crayon in it instead of dealing with the whole microwaving process. So it is melting, and hopefully this will be enough wax for it. I think the last one might need a little more wax just because there is quite a bit of glass left to fill and it will be the top layer, and you want it to look nice. Okay, so I have started melting the crayon with the tea candle, and this is what it looks like, totally empty. So I'm just going to start pouring this wax into here because it is already warmed, and then I'm just going to get another tea candle and continue the process. So what I was doing was just, I had the tea candle lit, and I was just kind of holding the crayon over it and letting it completely melt into the candle. Okay, and it is liquid, so I'm going to take it and I'm going to pour it into the glass. Okie dokie, so I'm just going to let this harden, and I am going to cut some of the wick off, at least where the top of the glass is. Okay, so it is still hardening, but that is the final result of my candle. It is not the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. This side's not bad, and this side's not too awful, but the other sides are kind of It's not super, super beautiful or anything like that, but hey, it works. And I am just going to leave it and let it harden. Yeah, so I don't know if this is really a pass or a fail on the Pinterest attempt scale. I mean, I did make a candle. Does it look like the pictures? No, not at all. But I did make a candle, and I am going to let it harden. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to light it just because I worked so hard on getting the silly wax to melt. Maybe if I had bought actual candle making wax at the store or on Amazon or something like that, maybe it would have melted easier and laid a little more flat and not caused so much frustration. Here's my candle. Please follow me on Instagram and Twitter and Tumblr and Pinterest, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a very, very, very happy new year, and as always, stay excellent. Bye!